Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today, we're plunging into something that honestly shifted how I think about getting things done. It's
Yeah.
this idea that the really productive people, they're not just using pure grit.
Exactly. No brute force discipline needed. Not really.
Right. It's like they've found these clever hacks, almost like tricking their own brains
Yeah.
to hit these incredible levels of
Yeah.
focus.
It's so true. And it's not about fighting your brain, is it? It's about understanding how it works and, working with it. So today's deep dive is all about unlocking what the original speaker calls insane focus.
Yeah, insane focus. I like that. And we do that by leveraging these, well, sometimes surprising insights into our own minds.
Hmm.
And what I find really compelling is where this comes from. The person sharing these went from, and they say this themselves, an ADHD mess to a hyper-focused CEO.
That's quite a transformation. It really shows what's possible, doesn't it?
It really does. It underlines that these aren't just theories.
Absolutely. So our mission today is to explore 10 specific hacks, things you can literally start using today. These are actionable strategies, really designed to boost your focus, your productivity, basically turn your brain into this controllable superpower.
A controllable superpower. I like the sound of that. Okay, let's unpack this. Hack number one is, well, it's a bit of a mind bender. Make a not-to-do list.
Yeah,
It just flips all the usual advice.
right. It really does. The core idea is that focus isn't like a muscle you just, pump harder. It's more like a filter.
A filter.
Exactly. It's about subtraction, fundamentally, not adding more things to do.
Okay, but that sounds simple. Maybe too simple. Why is it so hard for us?
Well, I think it's because we're often wired to think more effort, more results. And, our culture often celebrates being busy.
Right, busy equals important.
But true success, the source argues, is actually a subtractive process. You don't always do more to win. You strategically do less. But you have to say no to the right things. Like they say, a new yes is a no to your dream. But flip that, and a no is a yes to your goals. It's about being really intentional with where your energy goes.
That makes sense. It reminds me of that Plinko game, where the puck bounces off all the pins.
Yeah.
Most people live like that puck, hitting everything, energy scattered. The goal here is remove the pins. Let your energy go straight down the middle.
Yep.
Stack it up.
That's a great analogy. Removing the pins.
So what's the biggest block people hit when they try this subtraction thing? Fear of missing out.
I think that's a huge part of it. FOMO, or just feeling like you're not doing enough. We're kind of conditioned to fill every second. But once you commit to this list, the clarity you get is, well, it's pretty incredible.
Okay, so what actually goes on this list? What pins do we remove?
Good question. First, low-value tasks. Anything you could easily pay someone else a bit to do or, use an app for, delegate or automate.
Right.
Second, bad habits and vices. Things like avoiding difficult conversations or hitting snooze 15 times. We all have those.
Guilty.
And third, this is a big one, energy vampires. Those people who just consistently drain you instead of lifting you up.
Ah, yes. We all know a few of those. So, for you listening, think about it. What distractions, what low-value stuff, or even who could you subtract to free up that mental energy? Okay, so we've subtracted the noise with the not-to-do list. What's next? It feels like we need to build something now.
Exactly. The next step is proactively designing your focus. Which brings us to hack number 2, create focus triggers.
Focus triggers. Okay, so flow state isn't magic. It doesn't just happen.
Not usually, no. The core idea is that flow is designed. It's not random. You build a structure, a set of cues that help you enter it intentionally.
And when you're in flow,
Mm-hmm.
man, that's the best feeling. You're not worried about emails or the bathroom or what people think.
Precisely. You're just doing your best work. Your most creative stuff comes out then.
So what are some examples of these triggers? The source mentioned a few good ones.
Yeah, location is a powerful one. Maybe you have a specific chair just for deep reading or outlining goals.
We're going off-site, right?
Sure.
For bigger planning.
Definitely. Change the environment to signal focus. Sound is another big one. Using, say, wordless playlists.
Or those binaural beats apps. I've heard of those.
Yes. Binaural beats different frequencies in each ear to kind of nudge your brainwaves towards focus. And headphones, obviously, to block out noise.
Simple but effective.
And then there are routines. Think about top athletes. They have these meticulous rituals, right? Visualization, warm-ups, structured days, weeks.
The rhythm of success, they call it.
That's it. And the key point is routines aren't boring. They aren't restrictive. They actually create resources and freedom because you automate the small stuff.
It's like building a runway for your brain to take off.
Okay.
Okay, listener question time. What specific cues What pre-work rituals could you design? What signals to your brain? Okay, time to zero in. All right, let's move to hack number 3. This one. This one was tough for me at first. Start on hard mode.
Ah, yes. Definitely counterintuitive for a lot of people.
Totally. It says attack the hardest thing first. Don't go for easy wins to build momentum.
It is counterintuitive because that quick win feels good,
Yeah.
right? But the source uses a great analogy. It's like starting dinner with dessert.
Ah, okay.
It's enjoyable, sure, fills you up fast, but there's no real nutrition, and now you're too full for the actual food you need.
And I get that. I used to clear my inbox first thing, felt productive.
We all do it.
But then my real work, the important stuff, hadn't even started. So this is about choosing your one thing.
Exactly. The single most impactful task. For a business owner, maybe it's marketing. For you personally, maybe it's hitting the gym.
The first domino.
That's the one. If you knock that over first thing when you wake up or sit down to work, it sets you up to win the whole day.
So you schedule that deep work, that hard stuff, for your peak energy time. Usually the morning for most people.
Yes, schedule those deep work blocks. But here's the absolute crucial part.
Oh.
Do not check email, social media, news, anything like that before you tackle the one thing.
Why not? What happens?
Because consuming content first, especially if it's negative or just distracting, it can create this crap feeling, as they put it.
A crap feeling.
And that feeling just derails your focus and your energy before you've even begun the most important task.
Wow, that's a powerful warning. Okay, so for you listening, what is your first domino? And how would hitting that first thing change your day's momentum, your confidence? Moving on. Hack number 4 is be hard to reach, which sounds kind of unfriendly.
A little bit, but the idea behind her is smart. Be easy to find online, sure, have a presence, but be difficult to interrupt.
Okay, I see the distinction.
The problem, as the source points out, is most of us make it way too easy to get interrupted. Notifications constantly pinging.
In the inbox. Oh, the inbox.
Right, they frame it as a public to-do list of other people's priorities on your time.
Ouch. That hits home.
Yeah.
So how do we disconnect? What are the strategies?
First, the big one. Turn off all notifications. Like, really? Except maybe for truly critical people, spouse, key assistant, maybe.
Okay, that takes courage. What else?
Second, schedule time specifically to respond. Don't react instantly. Dedicate blocks for texts, emails. They call it net time, like reply to texts while you're chilling, post-workout. Batch it.
Net time. I like
Yeah.
that. Bundle those replies.
Third, use focus signals. Just wearing headphones can be a universal sign. Do not disturb unless the building's on fire.
Laugh slightly.
Right.
They even mentioned a funny kind of extreme rule. If someone interrupts your focused work or call, they have to present on their stuff to everyone there. Apparently it worked on kids joining board meetings.
That's hilarious. Okay, what else?
And finally, if you need to, just physically remove yourself.
Yeah.
Go somewhere else, coffee shop, library, friend's empty office, the advanced move.
Yeah.
Leave your laptop charger at home. Forces you to finish before the battery dies. Now that's pressure. Whoa, that's intense commitment. But makes sense. So, listener check-in. How often are you pulled away by pings and easy access? What's one small step you could take, maybe today, to be just a little bit harder to reach? All right, hack number 5 feels related to that last one. Turn up the pressure. Create your own urgency.
Yes. Don't wait for the world to impose deadlines and consequences. Create them yourself, proactively.
The analogy they used was perfect. Moving house.
Oh, yeah. If you have 3 months to move, you'll probably procrastinate, get distracted, take forever.
Totally.
But if you suddenly find out you have 3 days, bam, intense focus, purpose, no time wasted, you tap into that proactively.
That deadline energy is real. So how do we manufacture it? 2 main ways.
Exactly. First, shorten the timeline. This directly fights Parkinson's law. You know, work expands to fill the time available. So instead of vague deadlines like end of day or end of week, get specific and make them earlier. Done by 3 p.m., finished by Wednesday, report due on the 10th. It forces focus.
Creates constraints.
Yeah.
Okay, and the second way.
Increase the stakes. Ask yourself, what really happens if I don't hit this goal? And then make that consequence non-negotiable.
Like the example of the team member wanting to lose weight.
Yeah, that was pretty intense. Told she couldn't stay on the team if she didn't hit her goal by X date. The point isn't necessarily to be that harsh, but
to have some real downside.
exactly. Most people lack a clear downside to not acting, so the urgency just isn't there.
Makes you think. Okay, listen to reflection. What goal or project in your life could use a tighter deadline? Or maybe needs a self-imposed stake to really get it moving? Hack number 6 feels incredibly relevant right now. Train your algorithm. Basically, fighting back against the tech giants trying to steal our attention.
It's a battle, isn't it? These billion-dollar companies design these things to hook us, but you can flip the script.
Oh, how do we make the feed work for us?
Well, first, you have to actively teach the algorithm what you want. Search for topics you genuinely want to learn about. Don't just scroll. And actively engage with the good stuff. Leave comments on videos or articles that are actually useful. Signal, yes, more of this.
So be intentional with clicks and comments. And then the maybe harder part, be ruthless.
Pretty much. Unfollow or mute accounts, even friends sometimes, if their content isn't helping you learn or grow in the areas you care about. Be unapologetic.
Like the quote, "My feed works for me, I don't work for it."
That's the mindset shift right there.
Powerful. Anything else for training the algorithm?
Yes, and this is crucial. Integrate what you learned. Don't just be a passive consumer. Share what you find interesting, and even better,
Teach it.
teach it. Explaining something to someone else dramatically deepens your own understanding. It forces you to organize the knowledge. Plus, it signals to the algorithm what you're really about.
That's a great point about teaching. Okay, so how consciously are you, the listener, curating your online world? What changes could turn your social media from a time sink into a learning engine? Hack number 7 is huge for sustainable productivity. Design your perfect week. And it starts with a hard truth. Multitasking. It's a myth.
It really is. That stat they mentioned takes like 23 minutes to fully refocus after just one interruption.
Oof. And the quote, multitasking is just screwing up multiple things at once.
Chuckle slightly.
Well,
It's funny because it's true. And that's exactly why designing your week is so critical. For energy, for focus.
but where do you start? With the big stuff.
Yes, start with your big rocks. These are your non-negotiables, the things that, if they happen, make everything else work better.
Like date nights, workouts, maybe reading time, key strategy meetings.
Exactly. Block those out on your calendar first. They are sacred.
Okay, big rocks first, then what? Theme the days.
Theming your days is powerful. Monday for marketing, Tuesday for sales, Wednesday for strategy, whatever fits your role. It massively cuts down on decision fatigue. You know what kind of thinking is needed each day.
Reduces that what should I do now feeling. And batching tasks.
Definitely. Group similar tasks together, all your content creation in one block, all your calls back to back, and block out focused time for them, maybe shorter meetings, 30 or 45 minutes, keeps things tight.
Makes sense. Keep the momentum going on similar tasks.
And maybe the most overlooked part, plan around your energy, not just your time slots.
Energy levels.
Yeah. When are you naturally sharpest for creative work? Maybe mornings. When are you better at admin? Maybe afternoons. Schedule accordingly. Fuel yourself through the day. Don't fight your biology.
Good reminder. If multitasking is screwing up multiple things at once, how can you listening redesign your week? Prioritize single tasking during your peak energy. All right, hack number 8 sounds more fun. Gamify your work. Turn it into a game.
Exactly. Think about why video games are so addictive. They show you progress visually. Levels, points, streaks.
Right, you always know where you stand.
And that ties into a core principle. Progress is happiness. When you can see yourself moving forward, you stay motivated.
So how do we apply that to work? Tracking streaks.
Tracking streaks is huge. Measure daily consistent action, number of sales calls, words written, days you worked out, like that friend mentioned who hit 1,200 consecutive workout days.
1,200, that's insane consistency. Okay, streaks. What else?
Create clear milestones that unlock rewards. Specific achievements, maybe hitting a sales target unlocks that vacation you wanted or lets you buy that thing you've been eyeing, makes it tangible.
Something to aim for.
Yeah.
And making it visual.
Yes. Put your goals, your progress chart, your streak counter somewhere you see it constantly. A poster, whiteboard, computer background. Keep those wins visible.
Constant positive reinforcement.
And finally, a really effective tactic.
Got
Do
it.
it together. Enroll other people. We're often more motivated when others are watching, especially if we started a challenge.
Like a weight loss challenge or a team sales contest.
Exactly. That shared accountability can be a massive boost.
So listener question, what part of your work, or even a personal goal, could you gamify? How could you make progress more visible, more exciting, more motivating? Hack number 9 gets right to the core of performance. Manage your energy. The quote they used was powerful. Exhaust the body, tame the mind.
It's so fundamental. Your energy isn't just something you passively have. It's a direct result of your habits, your actions.
Right, and there are 2 ways to manage it. proactive and reactive.
That's right. Proactive boosts come largely from things like a solid morning routine, a structured way to wake up, move your body, maybe read or journal, easing into focus before work hits you.
And prepping the night before helps too, right? Laying out clothes.
Absolutely. Reduce that morning decision fatigue. Make it easy to do the right thing.
Okay, so that's proactive. What about reactive? When you feel that slump mid-afternoon.
That's where reactive boosts come in. Recognize you're drained, then do a quick reset. The example was doing a fast set of push-ups.
Just like 45 seconds of effort.
Yeah, something quick and physical, get the blood flowing. It can dramatically shift your energy state, or things like taking meetings while walking, or even on scooters like they mentioned. Make movement part of the work.
Movement meetings. I like that. So the core belief is you don't have energy, you.
You create energy. It's a mindset backed by action. Think about it. If I told you right now you had $10 million tax-free in the bank, how would you feel instantly?
I'm pretty energized.
Exactly. You just created energy based on a thought. Your mindset and actions directly influence your state.
That's a brilliant illustration. Okay, so for you listening, how fast can you hit the reset button on your energy? What proactive habits and reactive strategies can you use to actively create energy all day? And that brings us to the final hack, number 10. Find your flow. This feels less like a specific tactic and more like a personal philosophy.
I think that's a good way to put it. It's acknowledging that your path to optimal focus and flow is unique. It's not one size fits all. It needs constant reflection, constant tweaking.
It ties back to the source's own story, doesn't it? Being told they were broken, needed fixing or medication.
Right. Only to realize, no, I'm not broken. I just need a different way of working. One that actually suits my brain, my energy rhythms. It's about self-discovery.
So the process is what? Journaling, paying attention.
Yes. Taking time to reflect. What's genuinely working for you? What isn't? How do certain tasks or times of day make you feel? And then be willing to experiment.
Constantly tweak things.
Constantly tweak. Your needs change. Your energy changes. What worked last year might not work now. Try new things. Take things out. It's like trying on clothes. Does this actually fit me now?
That's a great analogy. Don't just stick with something because you used to do it.
And the underlying message is really one of perseverance. Don't give up on finding what works for you. Because mastering your energy, your focus, finding that unique flow, that's where your biggest goals, your dreams become possible.
It really brings it all together. An empowering final thought. Okay, so the last listener prompt. What's one small experiment you can run this week? Just one thing to better understand your unique flow and how you can sustain it.
Well, that wraps up our 10 hacks. It's been a fascinating dive, hasn't it? The big takeaway really seems to be that peak productivity, that insane focus, isn't about more willpower.
No, it's not about brute force at all.
It's about being clever. It's about understanding your own brain and using these, well, hacks to work with its natural tendencies, not against them.
These are real, actionable strategies. They empower you, listening right now, to work smarter, definitely not just harder, by leveraging your own unique mental wiring.
So if mastering your energy, your focus, your flow, if that's truly where your biggest dreams live, ask yourself this: what is the one single hack from our deep dive today that you are going to implement first? What's your starting point on that journey?